So what is a session? Well, a session is basically a bunch of tests, typing tests that you do in a row. They usually start with a phase of a completely random test in which the different patterns that the user is weak at are being collected. Afterwards, there are tests that are considered targeted practice, and they are targeted towards the patterns that were collected. So if you look right here, you can see it represented as a progress bar. And where do you see this person here with the rowing stick? That represents where you are in the session. So right now you can see that this character is in the random analysis phase. And let me complete this test. So now you can see that it advanced into the targeted practice. Now, the targeted practice phase is going to be 11 tests. You can see right here, we are now on test 2 out of 12. And so you will have 11 tests that are geared towards your weak patterns. Now I'm noticing that I actually have a few patterns here that I accidentally left in. So let me remove them. Okay, now the words are only consisting of the patterns that are collected in the mistyped and slow patterns. And the session is actually configurable. So it doesn't have to be exactly 12 tests from which the first test is just one test of random analysis and then 11 tests that are targeted. Rather, if you scroll into the settings menu and you look at the last two sliders, these sliders help you configure your session. So if you want a longer session, you can take this slider all the way up to 25. And now you can see that the tooltip is saying basically test 1 out of 25. And if you want to have more random tests than just one, well, you can take the slider up to 11, right? Now, if you want to have, for example, only random tests, well, you can take this slider down to 11 as well. It doesn't really matter the value as long as they are the same. So you can take this one to 6 and this one to 6, and then a session is basically 6 random tests. And as soon as you reach the end, it will skip back to the beginning and you will have another random test, right? In this sense, if you just want random tests, then it doesn't really matter how many tests in a session. You can also have, like, let's say 10 random tests but 11 in a session, and then you will have only one test where you get the targeted practice. Another special case is where you have 0 random tests, and if you look here, then yeah, the random part is completely gone. Let's switch for another word list for a moment. Right, so it's hard to really tell, but this is actually a random test, but that's obvious because there are no patterns here, right? Every time we make a change, by the way, it resets the progress and puts our character back to square one. So right now this is a completely random test. Well, then what is the difference between 0 random tests and 1 random test? It only matters for this box, the include pattern. For example, if I put OO, then you will see I have many words with OO. However, if it was an actual random test, then it doesn't take the OO into account. It will only take it into account during the targeted practice phase. Oh yeah, and one last thing about sessions, you can just put it on infinity, and then, yeah, this is a bug, by the way, the fact that you don't see any green here right now. It's actually fixed already. If you're seeing this video, it's already fixed, and it is fixed on my local development branch, but in this demonstration, this is the version with the bug. So when you put on the infinite number of tests in a session, well, the other thing to control is how many random tests, but as soon as you finish the random analysis, and your character goes above, like beyond the random analysis and into the targeted practice, it's going to stay here forever. It's never going to reach the end and reset, which is like a completely valid way of practicing. You just keep practicing your slow and mistyped patterns, and you never reset them to sort of like get completely new patterns. And that's pretty much it about sessions, I believe. Yep. Thank you.